guys, it's Aluna here, and I'm bringing you today this lovely little work vlog of me making my level 1 Jester, or level 2. I'm not really sure what they call it, but it's her default original outfit, not the fancy level 10. I already made that. Unfortunately, I didn't think to start really recording when I started making Miss Jessie, but I am now. I'm just gonna walk you through a bit of what I have so far. So before I started recording everything, I have footage of me working on her overskirt and cutting out the bottom part of her sleeves. But before that, I have pretty much made her entire corset slash dirndl. It needs a finished edge on the bottom, and it needs a panel, which you will see me make. I would also like to state that my Jester cosplay from her level 2, level 1, whatever, I'm not basing it completely off the original concept art for her, like the official art. I love it, it's beautiful, but I kind of want to go buck wild and do my own thing with it. So I'm kind of combining aspects and parts of the original design with Kuman Haranji. I can never pronounce her name. Her name is Ginger. That's all I know is her name is Ginger. I have bought a lot of her art. In fact, in the back of my phone case, I have a Bo and Jessie sticker. Kuman Haranji. I'm gonna put it in the video. There's gonna be her name blasted. Follow her, her work is phenomenal. But I'm really in love with how she draws Jester, and it's a little different than the original design. The colors are a little different, so I'm kind of basing my colors a bit more off of hers, because the original concept art for Jester, it's a little more muted colors, and like I understand that for the setting in the world, that makes sense. I like bright things and stuff that pops, so I'm doing that. So the colors are a little off. For her corset slash dirndl, I very much based mine off of a dirndl, the top part of the traditional German historic garb, because I think it's really pretty. So I stole a pattern. That's a lie, I didn't steal. I found a picture for a pattern to make those particular tops, and I looked at it, and because I know how to pattern draft, I just didn't buy the pattern, but I drafted the pattern by looking at the picture and following the seam line. I really like the top, and it's going to be really fun because it's going to lace up in 2 spots. There's going to be a panel in the middle, and it laces together in the sides, and there's a lace up here that connect the top bit to the actual body of it, and I'm really excited about it because it's turning out really nice and smooth and clean, and I'm just a very proud mother. I also have most of her skirt done, the base underskirt. I am probably going to take the waistband off and resew it, and I need to add a bias tape finishing on the opening of the skirt and sew a clasp, and then dye the bottom part of it. I actually attempted to dye these, her sleeves and her skirts. It went bad. I was able to quickly get all of it out though, so it only stained it a little bit. Besides that, I believe that's all that I have done beforehand on my Jester. After I finish this Jester, I have I want to say about 7 other Jesters I plan to make. I have a problem. I'm obsessed. Let's sew. The first thing I have recorded of me working on her is for the blue overskirt. I take the 3 skirt panels and put 2 2-inch pleats into them. When I pin my panels to my waistband, it all fits perfectly. Then I just go in with a straight stitch across the top of the panels with a very small seam allowance to keep the pleats in place for when I pin and sew the waistband. My camera was on death's door, so I didn't record the process, but I did pin the waistband to the skirt, and now I'm just going to sew that down. Missed the part of the waistband on the lining side, so I'm just hand sewing it to the lining with a blanket stitch. You can use a whip stitch for this as well, but my default is just a blanket stitch for whatever reason. To finish off the overskirt, I just hand sew a clasp to each end of it. And with that, I finished my overskirt. Now to make my bias tape to finish off the corset's raw edge. I'm using a clear ruler and tailor's chalk to mark 2.5 inches down along the length of my fabric. After I make the marks, I use the ruler to draw a line and connect it. Then I cut it out. I cut this along with selvage. That doesn't really matter with this because I'll be folding it in so you won't even see it once the bias tape is made. To make this into bias tape, you fold one side to the middle, iron it flat, do the same to the other side. The raw edges should meet in the middle, then fold that in half and iron it flat again. Voila! Easy matching bias tape. To get the angled edges, I open the tape, dog ear each corner, then fold it back with the corset sandwiched between the bias tape. Then I just pin the tape along the bottom of the corset. Now I'm just a straight stitch away from being done with the binding on the bottom of my corset. My bias tape wasn't even on both sides, so it only really sewed the outside facing tape down, so I just started to whip stitch what I missed. For now, I'm done with the corset. I don't want to start making the last panel just yet until I've got all the undergarments complete so that I can make sure nothing is going to peek through. I already seam ripped the waistband off and now I'm just going to pin the bias tape to the slit in the skirt to finish the raw edge. Next, I'm just going to sew it down with a straight stitch and remove the pins. Now, I'm just going to pin the waistband on and sew it down. Here I am cutting out the 4 of my sleeve pattern pieces, pinning and sewing it together. I drafted this pattern myself and it makes the prettiest sleeves. Sorry my camera settings went very wonky, so the video here is a little grainy. This is where I've decided to stop for this video. I'll work more in the cape and top of the chemise in the next one. Sorry it's so scattered. I tend to work that way because I usually don't have all the materials in for one part of a costume at a time, or my brain really just needs a break from what I'm working on. Sadly for now, this particular Jester costume is going to be put on the back burner because I'm doing a very fun Halloween themed costume for October, which I'll be trying to make in a little less than 3 weeks. Also filming that process. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to reply. And as always, I'll see you guys in a stitch.